Oh, well, hello. Hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay, and I'm not having audio issues. I hope everybody's doing awesome and taking care of themselves and having a fun summer. Who do I got here? People already hanging out in chat, huh? Oh, wow. All right, there's a few of you. Gracefully Salty, hello. How you doing? You're going to be lurking while weeding? At first, I thought it said while wetting. How's everybody doing? Stone, welcome on in. Good to see you. Last 24, banging them war drums, baby. How you doing? Mick P. Hello, beautiful Mick P. Appreciate you being here. Michelle F. Hello. How you doing? Who else did I see? Gina. Hi, Gina. How are you? Hope everybody's having a great night. Did I see Kane? Is this the purge? It's not the purge, buddy, but maybe it will be. I tried to pin the link. What we're going to do tonight, these are just questions I have. And, I wanted to talk to people in the community about my questions. Karma Police, hello. How you doing? You can hear me loud and clear. Thanks, honey. Appreciate you. Jackie, hello. Paco, hello. Always good to see you. Welcome on in, everybody. Sharon Wright, hello. Good evening to you. All right, so I did put it in the description of the video as well. It's also what I titled the live tonight was Ann Taylor helping the state the whole time? Or was she laying the groundwork for a due process violation? Does Kohberger plan on utilizing the Supreme Court of the United States to launch some kind of, let's have the Supreme Court look into the case. Was there some kind of due process violation here? Constitutional violation? Things like that, right? So, I don't know. That's kind of just what I wanted to talk about tonight. What people are thinking regarding what in the actual shit Ann Taylor and the defense team here are doing. I know we've heard a lot of talk about the plan. There's a plan. I've looked into illegally what possibly the plan could be, and outside of the withdrawal of the plea and going to trial, I'm not really sure what that could be, but I'm super interested in hearing what people think. I personally think, if anything, what they were doing is potentially laying the groundwork for a SCOTUS appeal, not to appeal his sentencing or his conviction, but to appeal the whether or not his rights were violated, if there was a due process violation by the court. So yeah, hoping to hear from some people. I'm hoping some people click the link. Yeah, well, like I've always been of the opinion. Yeah, exactly, Angel, right. Sherry D, hello. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Justine Cooper, hello. Christine, hello. I did see that. Yeah. Not gonna lie though, I'm totally here for Ashley Banfield losing her shit on her podcast and dropping F-bombs and swearing and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I'm here for it. Joanna, hello. Dory, hello. Truth Seeker, good to see you. Welcome on in. Amethyst Noir, hello. There you are, Justine. Thought I saw you. Mittens for Kittens. How you doing? Welcome on in. So I did pin the link. Yeah. Well, exactly, Amethyst, right? Could they be laying down the groundwork for some kind of an appellate issue here down the road, constitutional violation, due process violation, etc.? Yes. Does that is that going to change his sentencing if he accepts it? No. But if you got into a situation where, say, the Supreme Court, which is rare for the Supreme Court to take up your case anyway, it's kind of a rare instance. It's like a very small percentage of cases that are actually heard by the Supreme Court, is my understanding. And even if they do hear your case, right, you're still going to have to, because if you're waiving your right to appeal your sentencing and your conviction, right, and you're waiving your appeal for the plea and the sentencing, if you're going to go at it from another angle, you would need to have the Supreme Court determine that your rights were violated from jump. Therefore, everything used against you, technically, whether it was obtained unconstitutionally or in violation of a specific DOJ policy or whatever the case may be, it would then be up to the Supreme Court to overturn. Um, but I think even if they were laying some kind of groundwork for SCOTUS, that doesn't necessarily mean Kohberger, walks out of jail. It's not a get out of jail free card. He would still be sitting there for a while, with the, fingers and toes crossed that Supreme Court even takes the case up, right? So these are just the things that have been going through my brain for the last couple weeks. Willie, what up? Yo, Malaka, how you doing? David Bird, always good to see you. Always good to see you. But, I've always kept it in the back of my mind that from the beginning, she did get him to waive speedy trial. And according to her, at the time, Mr. Kohberger was faced with the decision of choosing between two constitutional rights, right? And, she got him to waive speedy. Now, I do have the opinion that that was a bad move, because she knew when she did her first discovery request, which I believe was like within the first week after Mr. Kohberger was arrested, she put in her first discovery request. So she knew then, upon the return of that discovery request, the state did not have shit to turn over to her, right? So if upon your first discovery request, the state don't have a goddamn thing to give you, why would you ever waive speedy? If anything, you'd want speedy, because they don't have shit. They're not going to be able to produce shit in the next 6 weeks and be ready for trial in 6 weeks. So it's, I've always kind of held that in the back of my mind, that she got him to waive speedy so that the state could build their case, so that the state could produce discovery. And I've always kind of kept that in the back of my mind, Why would she do that? And I understand her reasoning that he was faced with the choice between two constitutional rights. I still feel, even with that choice, you don't waive speedy, because you knew on your first discovery request they did not have shit to give you. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. I know probably a lot of people aren't going to, a lot of people don't agree with me, especially because I'm like, all right, well, I'm accepting his plea. I'm kind of at peace with it. And I didn't really want to talk about Kohberger anymore on my channel, but unless we got some docs or some things Okay. Oh, oh my goodness. Are we back? Are we here? Is this working? We're good now. So sorry, friends. So sorry. We had some bad weather. Um, roll through not that long ago. Hopefully this is back on. So sorry, friends. Okay, so anyways, the link is pinned. If anyone would like to come up, have a little chit chat. And Taylor was helping the state the whole time, assisting them so they could actually build their case. As I was saying before, oh, I'm totally fine, honey. Everything's totally fine, Joanna. Sorry, we just lost internet there for a second. Candy girl. Candy girl. Hello. Becky, hello. How are you? Or to prove corruption. I mean, yeah, could be. Could be. All right. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Sorry. I don't know what happened there for a second. We did have bad weather earlier, and I think we have more. All right, cool. We're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, me too, Mac. I mean, we're all disappointed in the plea, right? That unless you're someone who, from the beginning, automatically believed he was 100% guilty from jump, then you're not disappointed with the plea. But um, you know, there are a lot of people who are. I'm more disappointed. Um, I'm not disappointed that he took a plea. I'm more disappointed that you are not in any better of a situation than had you went to speedy, right? You're really not in any better of a situation had you not waived your right to speedy trial, had you actually just gone to trial. You probably had a better chance with a jury than you did with this plea. Um, and the reason I feel that way is because after seeing some of the juries and some of the cases that we did, the one there, what was the kid's name? Valley, you know, it would appear that the jurors aren't as dumb as people think. And I understand a death penalty qualified jury is different. Um, but they do have a higher standard too. They have a higher burden, these jurors when they are death penalty certified jurors. And I feel like, to give the ultimate punishment to someone, the jurors take that very seriously. I do understand they with penalty, but I really feel like with what we heard, what was laid out in the docket, um, and then what Bill laid out at the plea hearing, I got to tell you, I'd take my chances with trial. But that's just me, like, I just feel like, I don't know. Oh, look at you, Sherry D. Look at you, honey. You're amazing. Thank you for your $5 super sticker. I truly appreciate it. I really do. I thought I turned the thingy off. Wouldn't be able to tip. I thought I did that. Anybody thinking that they have to, number one. Number two, I don't want anyone ever trying to tell me that I'm a fucking grifter, okay? Or confusing me with other that. I go live maybe once or twice a month, if that. And I don't. But unfortunately, there's a very large creator out there who confused me with someone else and tried to say that, I was using my channel to like grift for a laptop and shit like that. And thinking to myself, you may want to actually learn what you're talking about before you run your mouth, because I think you got me confused with someone else. But, and it's always wild to me when I hear another really large creator calling someone else a grifter, and that large creator has like tens of thousands of subscribers, and they have tiered memberships, and they have sponsorships, and they get super chats and super stickers and Cashapp and PayPal and Venmo and buy me a coffee and blah blah blah, and you're out here calling somebody else with 2,000 subs who goes later. You know what I mean? Like, literally go fuck yourself is how I feel about it. And I don't care how much, the internet loves this hysterical, that you would label someone else a grifter when you yourself have that you have sponsorships and tiered memberships in every single way for people to send you money, and you're going to call someone else a grifter. You know what I mean? Friday, what up? Well, come on in. Let me see. Aries Fire, Ms. Potts. I'd love to send you involving the system cover-up. Case involves Boise and people who came from Utah, aka Mormon headquarters, to write checks to shut mouths. Oh, interesting, darling. I don't know. Put it in your community tab or something if you have one, and tag me, and I'll definitely take a little peeky poo at it. You know that, Leslie and Billy. Hello, welcome on in. If I missed you, so sorry. Who else am I missing in chat? LS, hello. Oh, well, thanks, Candy Girl. I appreciate it. I just, I'll be damned. Call me a grifter. You must be out of your damn mind. Know what I mean? So, I have no problem turning off monetization, turning off a way for people to tip me. I do have everybody who has ever supported, just because I want to give shout outs to everybody. I just don't want anybody ever thinking they have to, I guess, is the point I'm getting at. I think someone's backstage. Hang on. I don't know who's here. Oh, someone was backstage. Where'd they go? Let me see. Sorry, it's been a while, actually. Been a while. Where's Stinky? Stinky in here? Friday, what up? Good to see you. So, yeah, what we're going to do tonight is I'll do a little bit of an open panel. Cat, hey, hello. How are you? A little bit of an open panel. I'm not going to do some of these, like where they got 5 or 6 people, because, I just can't. That's too much for me. It's sensory overload. But we can definitely at a time. I would like everyone to stay respectful. Even if we disagree, totally fine. I have no problem with the cussing and the snark and all of that. I just want everybody to be respectful. I'm not going to put up with someone like be trying to belittle me when they talk to me, or like mock me in some kind of way as though I'm dumb, when I know for certain I'm not. And that, we keep it all about the belt here, right? So, I think if anybody to join me, I was hoping JJ would be here, and maybe he would click the links about Ann Taylor and maybe what she was doing behind the scenes this entire time. I'm not saying Ann Taylor didn't put up a good fight, right? I think she did, but unfortunately, I also think she fell flat in a lot of places. All right, who's this? Add them to the stream. Hang on. Thought I clicked it. Hello.
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 Can you hear me?
Willie, what up?
Can you hear me?
Can you? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I don't know if there's a delay or not.
Oh, there's a delay. Try to come back in then. Hang on.
I don't know.
All right. Sorry, friends. Maybe Willie will come back up. Well, thank you, Meg. Appreciate you. I know a lot of people got mad at me when I went on my little rant about, it's not he's not a Fed, it's not his twin, it's not his hologram. And it's just because I couldn't fucking believe that I actually, like, literally, he's a Fed. Jesus. I can't. I'm sorry, guys. And there's probably a lot of you out there that believe that, and you're entitled to your opinion, and I respect it. But let's be serious, though. Again, hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Alrighty.
you. Totally good on.
All right, cool. What up,
It's you,
y'all?
homie. It's you.
It can't be me.
What up? Is that your cat?
That's my cat.
Hello?
I'm answering.
I don't know, dude. I think you. Yeah, but we couldn't hear you. I don't know. I think he's got like bad signal or something. Yeah, I think that is his cat too. The orange one. Yeah. She's absolutely insane. Yeah. All right. Papa, can you hear me? We're all feds, darling. We're all feds. I'm a fed right now. I'm literally in WITSEC right now. That's why I'm not showing my face. You know, it's just me being snarky, guys. Can't get behind the whole he's a sec. I just can't do it. I'm so sorry. I love you. I still love you. I just can't get there. I'm sorry, guys, because I understand how WITSEC actually works, and that's not how it works at all. Hello. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty excellent. How are you doing?
Hang on one real quick. Let me get everybody's volume up. We can't hear you. Who's this? Sorry.
It should tell you it's Sergeant Friday.
Hello.
It's Friday on Saturday.
Hey, Sarge, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay. All right. So hang on. Let's see if we can add Willie too.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Is it
Hello.
working?
I think so.
Good.
This is different than StreamYard. I think
Yeah,
Sarge
yeah,
or
the
Willie?
restream's cooked.
What do you mean?
It's just I tried Wi-Fi and my regular phone service, so this is a lot different than StreamYard.
for me it was just as easy to get in,
Yeah,
but I'm
you
not
keep
sure
cutting
if
out wicked bad.
Who does?
So Willie does. Let me mute him real quick.
Willie vanished.
He's got like a.
Willie's
I
trying
think
to
he's got like a bad connection. I don't know.
He's trying to hide from the law, I think.
So, what do you think's opinion on this?
On Ann's misrepresentation of Bryan?
Yeah.
Look, I think they railroaded the kid at the very end. Hitler stuck it to him real hard at the very end, and there was really nothing Ann could do. You need to get StreamYard. There is a free version of StreamYard, you know.
Better than StreamYard. StreamYard always messes up for me.
Oh. Am I coming through clear?
I mean, I can hear you fine, yeah. Can you hear
Okay.
me all right?
Yes, I definitely can.
So, what do you think? You think that she was helping the state the whole time? What do you think about?
No, I don't think that at all. I don't see any evidence of that, but I think she gave up a little bit too easy, but I don't think that means she was trying to trap Bryan.
Do you think that she did her due diligence in regards to, the criminal investigation in the background that she's supposed to do and that the team's supposed to do? Like, how do you feel about the fact that almost 2 years into it, and she still didn't bring on a team of paralegals or go to her resource judge to bring on extra help when she knew she wasn't going to be able to get through this discovery.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to know who the lawyer was for that doctor that was framed. That happened right in that area. I wonder if she had anything to do with that too.
Well, I mean, don't you think
Bryan
it'd be
could ask.
interesting that
He could override her and ask for a different counsel. I mean, he didn't really say anything to anybody ever. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to blame Ann for his confession.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we have to ask ourselves, are we trying to defend our belief, or are we looking at facts and coming to honestly thought through conclusions? And I think for the majority of people, they're trying to protect their belief he didn't do it.
Up really.
Oh, yeah, that's that restream thing.
Get out of here, Sarge. Did you boot Sarge? Because he boots everybody out of his chat.
Hi, Kane.
Hi. How are you, Miss Buzz?
No. I think maybe it's just I'm having some internet issues. Weather.
Either that or it's karma coming back on him. We get enough Sarge. Let's do you and me. What do I think? Am I allowed to speak freely this time, or?
Of course.
Well, what have I been saying all along? And every time I open my mouth, Kane. Now you mind your manners, Kane. If she really was defending him well, she would be the first public pretender that ever did. And I'm all about results, and she hasn't shown me results. So, I still believe in her. And if you want to say this could have an appeal at the Supreme Court level, then God bless her. Let's see, make it happen. But sentencing is on Monday or Tuesday. So let's get some tokens in the pot, and I'll be happy, guy. It's just she did the same thing with Skylar Mead, and she goes in there and she defends her client and gets the death penalty removed, and now she's a big hotshot lawyer. But from the get-go, the main thing she should have had was that house, that crime scene was entirely contaminated. They are lying. And so if this all comes up, God bless her at the, and if they do some kind of petition. I think her work is done. She didn't have the time or the patience.
It says I lost her the love.
You lost connection?
Not sure what's happening.
But I was on a tirade.
Hang on, friends. Hang on.
I'll play us out. I can't. The chat's going so fast, and you got slow mode on. Can you guys hear me? Anybody? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. So I'll just keep playing. What is it? Hold on. I can't do it. It's the guitar, not me. Okay, I look like this.
Oh, see, there we go. What do
I was playing a little Rush. Just saw one. There I am. Hello. I see
Dear
Sarge.
Alright.
Hey, Sarge, how many
I'm
years ago is
trying
that
to
picture
add
from?
you back.
Dear
Hang-
God,
So sorry.
you
There's Miss Spots. Welcome back, Miss
you
Spots.
play the guitar like Bryan Kohberger's illness.
My neighbor used to say it sounded like
Yeah,
I
it
was killing
probably
a cow
is my
next door.
connection. I'm sorry, guys.
Sounds like you're killing kittens.
We're having shitty weather, and I should have thought about
Are you trying to play Rush? Is that what you were trying to do?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Hang on. Hello, Lucy. How are you? Here we go. All right, friend.
You should let them do it there.
Kane.
Kane, quit playing with your stick in public.
I do it so well.
Here we go. Holy mother F. Sorry, guys. I think we're
Are
having
you having a blonde
weather
moment?
or something.
Thought you were a
Mother
brunette.
F. No, it's not me. It's me. I am. I'm fully.
You are what? A brunette or a blonde?
Fully brunette, but I'm not a real YouTuber.
Oh.
No, I'm a brunette, and I'm not a real YouTuber. So when all of this techie shit happens, I lose my shit. I'll shut it down real quick, and I don't even care. I'll just end it and be done.
Complete surrender. We love that. Bring it.
All right, so Sarge, go ahead. What do you think? What do you think? Because I had here.
All right, I
What
think
do you think is the reasoning? Okay,
Hitler
why would
burned all the
defense
kids' bridges.
attorney in this case? Why would you wait over ever in that 2 years? Go to your resource judge to bring on through all of this discovery that you can't get through.
Only she can answer that, right? They collected 54 terabytes, 65, whatever it might be.
What your opinion?
99% of that is irrelevant. The collections are irrelevant and show nothing pertaining to this particular accusation. So, it's just a big number, like the quadrillion number with the DNA. It's just bullshit, right? They might have had 1 fucking gigabyte of shit on Bryan, and they had 64 terabytes collected.
Would you consider? So if this, yeah, but it's for you, right? Do you feel that your attorney has put in exercise to their fullest capability?
No, I would
due
not.
Diligence.
I would not.
When they could have went to their people to help them with this discovery.
I would not, but that wouldn't have been my reason. My reason would have been she didn't give me a preliminary hearing within 14 days, as outlined by the fucking law. Right? I have other reasons, okay, that she, the IGG, she acquiesced to the IGG calling the detective work of the FBI a tip. I wouldn't go for that. I wouldn't go for the nonsense. I can't provide an alternative defense. I'd have fired her ass. Not pled guilty, though.
Well, now I got to be honest with you. Even when I heard about it in Pennsylvania, because I had gone to the hearing down there, and it was literally within like the hour of me wrapping up my live about the hearing that day that it came in breaking news about the plea. And I was just like, you have got to be shitting me, okay? Because I'm listening to all of these people who were issued a subpoena by the defense in Pennsylvania. I mean, none of these people knew Bryan. Literally only one person there who agreed that he was a material witness for Kohberger. And everyone met him, hadn't seen him since he was a teenager, and I'm thinking to myself, like, team doing, hiring all these people, like subpoenaing all these people that he doesn't even know. People who don't, right? If you're trying to subpoena people, your client to help why aren't you issuing subpoenas to the people who do know and can help you.
Where'd Kane go?
I'm right here.
Kane's right there.
She was trying to subpoena people that would be
So what do
relevant to the actual case.
What do you think, Kane?
Did you hear any of the first part of my dissertation there? Can you hear me okay? Seems like the volume's low.
I can hear you fine now. I didn't hear you before, though. My internet was all messed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was saying that do I have permission to speak freely now? Because every time I said something disparaging about Ann Taylor, I was shut up. So what have I been saying all along? That she should have been right on top of that house, that crime scene being completely contaminated. If she is a public defender for this defendant that's going to go all in for him, she's the first one ever. And like I said, she is following the same track that she always follows. She followed it in the Skylar Meade case. She goes in there, does her little play part, works with the state, gets the death penalty removed, moves on to the next case, looks like a champ, looks like she put in an effort. But the deals are made all in the back room. It's a triangle. I've said it over and over. And they worked, it's the old, somebody's saying in the chat, old boys network. It never changes. It's the same thing over and over and over. And she, if she has some master plan to eventually come through the Supreme Court and reverse this thing, then God bless her, but I have yet to see it from her. I base my opinions on your record. What's your batting average? She's batting about a .01 in wins, and the bucket's not filling up. She can't fill the bucket, and I honestly, even if she did believe in her client, as like she says, I don't think she has the resources or the time or the power to fight the corruption that's going on in this judicial system, especially clearly in Idaho.
All right.
What do you think of that? Here we go. One more.
Damn.
You came.
Damn.
I just wanted to come up here and play some metal. I got to go to work. I just I wanted to.
You got a job? Wait, you got a job? What do you do for work?
My opinion's up there, and
no, I wanted you. You're only allowed to play. It's time to Semper Fi.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
At work.
Thank you.
I hope you work too hard.
Make that money. All right. What do you think, Sarge?
Huh.
So what do you think? Like, do you think that anything here that they're planning to do outside of Bryan spending the rest of his life in the plan?
But that wasn't his only option available to him. But when he could speak, it was the option he chose. I don't care that I don't have any horse in this race per se, but I don't really think people give any credit to the idea that this kid really did it, and they refuse to because they can't believe it because they believe he didn't, and that's always a possibility. I don't know, man. I've been in front of courts and judges and sentences that could have taken a lot of my time away, and you got to fight to the end, and it appeared that he understood that, but there's something we don't know. And I don't think it's ineffective counsel by Ann, although it could be. There's definitely, I can't disagree with the observations of Kane and yourself and others. However, there was not enough reason for him to take a plea. And he did. That can't be a mistake.
And you cut out.
I said, of all the issues that people can raise, he always had the option to terminate this attorney, and that's not the route he chose. He chose to plead guilty.
Right.
All right. And
felt about the plea when I heard about it. I literally made a post, like the first one was, why did you not immediately fire her when she came to you with this bullshit plea agreement? But then again, it never occurred to me, did he ask for it? Did they all collectively agree to ask for it? I don't know. Was something produced in one of these last discovery requests that made his defense team say, okay, you're better off just taking this plea deal?
Well, listen, I think it's that Bill Thompson gives us an idea of what's happened here. I really suspect Kohberger, and it makes sense. There's something about him we'll never know, or if when we do finally find out, it still isn't reason to frame him for this case. And that's what a lot of people will say. But I really think that there's something about this kid, that this was the best deal he was going to get by taking responsibility for this case, whether he did it or not. That would be motive enough to take the quadruple life sentences. We don't know anything more about this kid, but the little bit we know from 2 years of exposure. And he did it quick. It's my understanding the defense requested a hearing, a meeting about a plea deal. So I just don't know. If he didn't do it, then the stupidest thing he could ever have done is take a plea. And would be taking a plea because of Hitler's actions be enough? I don't know. I would not have given up.
Well, see, you knew this was a death penalty when you took the case. She knew that her discovery would. Jay, Massith, and I believe, and stuff, they only had a couple of investigators.
Right.
And I still can't, for the life of me, in the last year,
yeah. Listen, the crime won't consist.
I'm very confused as to why source judge a year and a half.
Because the pile of stuff that they collected isn't relevant to the 30 minutes of his involvement. Do you understand?
I do understand. It doesn't matter. Your case, you're obligated under the Constitution to actability of due diligence to fully all the accusations against your client, fully investigate all of the evidence, everything they turn over to you. You can't do that.
But everything they turn over to you is not evidence.
That is exactly what your source judge
is. It's not evidence.
For.
All of that information is not evidence.
The point that I'm getting at is, in order for you, terabytes of discovery, and it's you and 2 other lawyers on your team, and you know that with you, your 2 lawyers and your 3 investigators, you're never the moment that you go to your resource judge and you request funding to legals who are going to help you go through the discovery to find what is necessary.
I hear you, but I think you're not realizing that most of this discovery was Officer Brown on surveillance on 614, or I'm just giving you examples. The talk with this guy, the video camera footage from here, but none of it's being used of discovery to be used at trial. So at best, what you would want to do is get all they're going to use at the trial, and then around the time period of the crime, whatever evidence in that 51 or 61 terabytes is what you want to focus on, not the investigative drive they took on November 14th or December 8th. So you want to whittle it down as quick as you can and look to see what their evidence is. And then Bill Thompson comes out and says they can't place him at the house. That to me was evidence enough to not take the plea deal. He should have just at that point changed his mind and said, no, I changed my mind, Your Honor. He just made my case for me. That's the point that was never there. You can't get more pointed than that. And yet that still didn't ring any bells or change any decisions or.
I'm getting at, though, right, but what I'm getting at, first discovery request. Kohberger's arrested. His defense counsel has put in their first discovery request. Upon the return of that, okay, discovery request, she knew right then and there that the state did nothing to turn over in discovery. Okay? So if she knew
And that's when.
then they didn't have shit, why, at that point, why would you ever allow the state the time to build their case and or get together their discovery? If they don't have their shit together and you know that from jump, why are you affording them that opportunity?
Well, she didn't technically do that. She didn't technically do that, but what she did do is allow the preliminary hearing to go for 6 months out. That's the problem. That's one of the big issues I have with her, because if she would have required, or if she would have made the court stick to the 14-day arraignment for a preliminary hearing, he most likely would have been released, because all they had were statements and a bullshit affidavit that they couldn't put fact to. Only opinion, not an observed opinion, not an opinion from a third-party witness, but their opinion, and that is not enough.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
That's
kind
Ann
of what
Taylor
I'm getting
fucked up
at.
on that. She did.
Why would she? Well, right, but maybe it wasn't a fuck up. Maybe it wasn't a fuck up at all. Maybe it was to allow the state the time they needed
Could be.
to build their case.
Yeah, we don't know what until what she
Right.
would come. I can't
If
answer
you're the
that.
state, well, the way I look at it is, if you're, for the most part, the feds have been backdooring your case for you to solve it. You know you're not doing a proper investigation. She would know that, because you can't turn over it. What do you mean you don't have anything in discovery? What do you mean you don't have anything? What the fuck did you, right? What do you
A
mean you have
preliminary
nothing
hearing,
to
though, has
turn
nothing to
over?
do with discovery. But a
I'm
preliminary hearing has nothing to do with discovery.
talking about, I'm not, Sarge, I'm not talking about the preliminary. I'm talking about her actions as an attorney from the beginning, the steps that she took, because all it did was help her client.
Yeah, it's definitely she effed up. I mean, if he wants to make an argument that he had ineffective counsel, I don't think he's going to have a hard time establishing that. But it still doesn't make sense why he didn't take it to trial or remove her.
Right.
You see, there's other options available to you as a defendant, and he didn't take those options.
Like, I feel like even
Listen,
right
I was thinking
now,
about this. No,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was thinking about this today. I was trying to think of an advantage and there may be an advantage to what he did today. I'll give people a clear. You guys want some hope? I'll be like Barack Obama, hope and change. Okay, you guys can latch onto my hope. How's that? And here's the hope.
I don't want hope. I want the damn documents. I want everything unsealed so I can read it.
You're gonna have to die. You're gonna have to swallow this hope pill. Okay. And here's what it is. By Bill Thompson accepting the plea and then making those statements in court on the record that he had no evidence, that might be golden for Bryan Kohberger. And the thing is, if he would have went to trial and that he would have lied or got people to say things or manipulated it to make it look like he was there, he no longer has that opportunity. So is there an advantage to what Bryan did if Bryan is innocent, or Bryan wants to argue his innocence in a different court? And there is a slight advantage to doing it this way. And Bill Thompson, like the idiot he is, walked right into it with the statement, although we have no evidence to place him at the scene of the crime. You see? So that's something Bryan never would have got at a trial. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was thinking too, like, if they did have something up their sleeve, I know that if they were to file something with the cause, what's going on right now with this plea stuff. And I don't think they're going to withdraw the plea. I really don't. I think they really are just prepared to let him take this plea in the clink and be done with it.
Well,
And I don't, there's no allocution, there's no weapon. Where's the clothes? What did you, like he should have some kind of allocution that needs to be forced out of him, as far as I'm concerned. If you are going to take this plea, I feel like the court needs to force some out of this defendant. That's just how I feel about it.
I don't disagree with that, but I also suspect, and that's why I'm saying, the fact that the state opened up its ass like that by Bill Thompson making that statement, maybe all Bryan needs to take this to a different court to get away from Hitler, who we can agree shut the door and railroaded this kid by stopping a third-party defense and by preventing anybody from talking about FBI's involvement in the IGG. He needed to get this away from Hitler, and he couldn't come back and ask for another judge. And this may have been his only escape route to give him a hope.
Yeah, that's kind of why in the beginning of the live, that's what I was talking about. Like, Supreme Court due process violation, filed something in the Supreme Court for what Hitler did, like in my Franks. And I think his reasoning for denying them the Franks is bullshit. I feel like a higher court would probably overturn that decision. I feel like a higher court would probably look at him denying due process violation. But that's just my opinion. I know how hard it is to get the Supreme Court to even hear your case. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Look, or he did it, and we're never going to hear from this dude again.
Right.
And that's the part that people that have chosen the lines of innocent or guilt just can't wrap their head around. I know there's a lot of things in this case that are just suspicious and weird.
I tried to tell everybody that, like, there's a lot of them who weren't. Keep your mind open to the fact that this motherfucker, in some way, they didn't pluck him out of thin air. And, I ain't gonna lie, there was a time where I was like, hey, it's looking like they got the wrong dude. Like, it is what it is, right? It don't look good for the state. Which is why when they copped the plea, I was just like...
I always said that even if Bryan is a killer, they gave the one way that he could never have done it. Their accusations were all exculpatory. There wasn't any inculpatory statement in any of the investigative work that they released to us. Nothing. I don't care where he was at 5:48 in the morning. I don't give a fuck where he was at 2:47 in the morning. All I want to know is, where was he at 4 a.m. to 4:30? Where was he? They don't know. You see? And there's nothing that they put forward that could show you unequivocally.
I want them to prove that's even...
Right.
But there's not even proof that that's the...
Right. No, the time crime is what I've been for months. 4:17 a.m. is the only...
What?
Yeah, it's a crime. And exoneration, 4:17 a.m. is the only evidence that they released to us that shows a crime in progress. That's it. There's no other piece of data they've given us. As a matter of fact, both Bethany and Dylan both confirm this. So does Murphy, and so does the camera. At 4:17 a.m., everything went to fucking shit. Bethany texted Dylan at 4:19, less than a minute and a half later, and that crime was in progress at that point. There's nothing prior to 4:17 to indicate any criminal activity or disruption in that home at all. Nothing. And that piece of information removes the car from the crime.
You're forgetting.
Because what?
Yeah, but I think what you're forgetting is that the defense's own experts were going to be arguing not only... Do you understand what I'm saying? They're experts. Dylan's devices altered, deleted, things like that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't 100% that it. I understand percent for the state, that was the state was claimed. This is the car. The defense very much planned to attack all of that.
The defense wouldn't have had to attack all of that. I know they would prepare for it, but you can establish no other moment in the history of humankind of a crime at that house until 417 that instantly removes the car. And because you associated Kohberger with the car, it instantly removes his ability to be there. You can't have a crime that's recorded and argued and talked about by the actual survivors that starts at 417 be the crime scene that they outlined and charged him with. It can't be. Therefore, you must exonerate him. That's what I mean. I can't believe this kid took a plea unless he had something to do with it or actually did the crime. Because all these other things you're pointing to aren't relevant.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, what would make him take the plea?
Yeah. He did it.
Right. I don't think he cares about his porn searches. I don't think that, to me, the way that I look at it, this is just my brain. Exactly. In the 22nd or 24th discovery request, after the reply from the state. So let's say, 20, 21, 22, 23. What in these last discovery requests did the state turn over? Has been asking for 2+ years. What is it that they finally got? If we go with your theory, right? If we go with he is absolutely guilty and involved, well, then that would mean that evidence wasn't coughed up to the defense until recently, which is what made them say, this is what, and then my brain says, okay, so what's he so worried about? Is it in there that he doesn't want people to know that he'd be willing to take the...
You're going down the same page that I present to people when I say there must be something about him that the feds know and will never know. So you're right. It's not his porn search.
Judgmental. You are not muted. Looking at my chat now. Sorry. Wasn't looking at the chat. I was listening to... Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a great night.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't even imagine how Ann Taylor went along with this. I don't know if I just don't get it, man. There has to be something that makes some activity that's documentable and unarguable between 4 and 417, because there's nothing else. There's nothing that they showed us that there's anything afoot, amiss, or inappropriately going on in that home prior to 417. And that argument is unassailable. And now this discovery you're mentioning, maybe something in that discovery throws a hole into that. Maybe there was something at 409 that would be indicative of the crime in Bryan's presence. But that gets thrown away when Thompson says that they can't place him at the home. Makes no sense. Uh-oh. I think we lost Miss Potts. There she is. Are you back?
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. We're having some bad weather. So.
It makes no sense, but it still doesn't make me demand to argue the kid's innocent. But much of this is very, very confusing.
That's the thing. I never took a side on whether or not he's 100% innocent or 100% guilty. And I said many times, let's see all of the evidence laid out, because none of us really know, right? And I've always said, I don't believe they plucked him out of thin air, right? So if we go with the whole, okay, feds basically did all of this work in the background and were able to get to him super quickly and figure out for local law enforcement, this is definitely your guy. This is the one you want to be focusing on. Feel about it now is that in this case, when people talk about FOIAs and they want docs and they want this and that, if you're going to FOIA anything, FOIA the feds. Because the fact of the matter is,
Right.
that was our taxpayer dollars that was used to track Bryan Kohberger across the country, monitor him for 2 weeks, get a Pentrax $1 million vehicle, okay, multiple agencies. That's our money that they used to catch this person, and they do their work, and they get to hide everything they did. And for me, that's bullshit.
It's worse than bullshit. It's a violation of the limits.
And
of
if
the
you want my honest
Constitution
opinion,
of the government.
I think that is the purpose of the plea. The purpose of the plea, just think the purpose of the plea is to keep a lot of things hidden. The government did here. Nobody knowing all the backdoor bullshit they do on the regular violates their oath and our rights. You know, they don't want that, but in my opinion, there's something there that he doesn't want. And Bryan Kohberger want fucking thing. But that's just my opinion.
The state,
Wellington, thank you so much.
The state reverse engineered the case once they were given a name. There's no question about that. And what they reverse engineered and presented to us is just, it's a jerk off job. There's nothing in there that places Bryan at the house. And they just kept running with it. They just wouldn't let it go. And the court system provided them the access to continue to do that. They literally cornered this guy, invented a story. If he went to Moscow 23 times in the afternoon, it wouldn't make any difference in their story. They're arguing he was there between 10 and 4 a.m. 23 times, makes their story a little bit more, in their mind, well, it's even better. But it doesn't matter. He could have been through that area 188 times. At all different times of the day and night.
Well,
doesn't mean he had any of this crime.
Getting at is it just appears to...
They reverse engineered everything they
It
saw
just
about
appears
the guy.
to me that Mr. Kohberger...
Right. Go ahead.
Charge.
Chip chop.
Time now. It gets choppy. Our having bad weather. Guys.
Well,
can you hear me?
They reverse engineered a case. Yeah, I can hear you. I could hear you the whole time.
That's what I'm getting at is after and the defense has accepted the plea, starting to, obviously we can look at things with open mind on things. And it just looks to me like Mr. State, for whatever reason, have the same. It is that he doesn't want to get out. It would, in his this doesn't want known. It's like they both have a vested interest in making it about.
Well, let me put it to you this way. They had Bryan, I suspect, on other things, and this was the best resolution to all of those things that we'll never know about, because none of those things could have been brought to a jury trial. You can't bring up investigations you might have into him unless they netted in a conviction and it's relevant to this particular crime. So it's likely the FBI has shit on Bryan Kohberger they may not be able to close the circle on, but that they'll never let go and chase him to the end of time. And so for him, it may have been the most sensible thing to do is to take the plea here with no death sentence and just get it all behind him, because he may have in fact been in a situation where death was the most likely outcome for whatever any of the other things that they had it on him for. Do you follow what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's as likely as anything else, and it's as likely that he was framed and he just quit. Uh-oh.
You
Nope.
think he just? You really do think that? I guess what I'm saying is, if you think there, what would both be, state and the thing? What do you think would be the thing that it would seem the two of them are just at it is the state's theory of how this crime is still bullshit.
It is. It's a retard story.
Allowed to still think it's bullshit, even though Kohberger is saying taking this plea. We all know the state's theory is bullshit. These people weren't asleep, right? They're still trying to go with the narrative in their beds when he crept in to kill them, which bullshit. We know that other men bled in the crime scene, and that DNA was ignored.
Look at either the kid did it, or there's a lot of stuff this kid did that he was going to be held to account for, and he just bailed out by doing what he did here, or he's completely innocent and framed and felt like there was no way he was ever going to win. I mean, we just won't know. That's the difficulty about the discussion. You can't know until we know. And I think it's amazing that Bill Thompson came out and made those statements, because to me, like I said earlier, that's the best possible thing that could have happened for Bryan through this process. Even taking the plea is not going to be a detrimental thing to him. It takes him out of this court system, and it gives him the chance to go after what the state of Idaho allegedly did to him based on the data we know and Bill Thompson's own statements. They would be heard by a different court. Instead
so you
of
think he's going to file to utilize the Supreme Court?
I don't know what court he would go to, and I don't think the Supreme Court is his only option. But I do know that it won't be Hitler, and it won't be these jackasses in Moscow or in Idaho. It's going to be an appellate court. You know, I never seen this. Look at this guy.
But if his plea, if part of his plea deal, his all rights to appeal his plea and his sentence.
Yeah, that sounds good for the public, but you can't. Listen. You can't agree to be my slave. Even though there's laws that say slavery is illegal, you and I can't circumnavigate them laws on our own volition and engage in doing the criminal activity because you agreed to it. You understand? So there is no such thing as a non-appealable plea deal. Just be aware of that. You can't agree, okay, to give away your constitutional freedoms. Sorry.
I literally made sure I went and looked it all up, and I posted it to my agent. That is a lot of times what prosecutors will attempt to negotiate is that you will appeal your sentence, your conviction, and your plea. I get ways you can appeal that, even though you're waiving your right to do so. But I don't believe, number one, they're going to withdraw the plea, and number two, I feel like they're setting up more for like a due process than anything else.
Like I said, what I told you, I want to be Obama and sell people hope and change. Those people that think he's innocent or believe he's innocent.
Sarge. Hang on, Sarge. I just need to handle chat for a second. What's happening, guys? Who's calling who names? Meg, you're still a mod. For fuck's sake, Fitziana is still a mod.
Do your job.
I mean, guys, come on. We're adults here. Mark and Betty calling people names. Why? What's the problem, Mark and Betty? You want to click the link?
I spelled Lana's name backwards.
A retard. Mark, Betty. Like, hang on, Sarge. Feel the need. Like, I've never hung out in a fucking chat of any creator that I don't like. I've never hung out in the chat and thrown down comments calling people like, you're so retarded, and people who are retarded should have. What's wrong with you?
I think I blocked
Like
them, Mark and
literally,
Betty.
what's wrong with these people?
I think I blocked them because they were.
I mean, nobody's forcing you to be here, Mark and Betty.
Right.
I don't care if they're a guilter or not. I'm not a guilter. I'm not a Kohberger. I don't understand this person would be in someone's chat using a word like retard. All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I blocked them because
What kind of shit is that?
What they were doing.
They're up here using words like that. You know, I thought we evolved. I thought humans as a species have evolved a little. And then Mark and Betty has to pop in saying dumb shit like that. And the sad thing is they're a subscriber. Because I have my shit turned to be a subscriber of 20 minutes or longer. I mean, Mark and Betty, I don't know what your problem is. We're just having a conversation. That's it. If you don't like people's opinion, you should just click on out. All right, sorry, Sarge.
They can call me a retard. I won't take offense. I don't think other people should take offense on my behalf.
I'm not offended. You can give. I just can't believe that people still use that apology. It's like, how old are you?
Yeah, but that's all over the guilters areas. If you go into some of those streams, they make fun of people like you and I that question things, and they don't understand that that's what you're supposed to do. You don't just, if Hitler tells you the sky is green, you don't just run around telling people the sky is green. You go outside and look, right? That's questioning things, and a lot of the guilters didn't want to do that. They just want to attack people. That's okay. But in this situation, I think the only strategy available to what we're witnessing now.
I just, it's the open panel.
Yeah, I do that too. I put that link up in mine, permanent link up there. Anybody, whether you like me or not, you can join my panel. But when it comes to this information,
conversation a weeks about the case.
Yeah.
And completely fucked up. Do you think that's still sitting in jail? Do you think she did everything she possibly could have done? Do you think she's laying the groundwork for appeal for a due process violation? I just want to hear people's opinions. And apparently
well, the only out for him is to get it out of, if he's truly innocent or he truly wants to argue his innocence, he needs to get it out of the courts in Idaho. And the only way to do that, I think, is what he did now. Because if he would have went and they would have lied and convinced the jury to convict him, I don't know that he can make the arguments that are makeable at this point. That judge ruled against him and railroaded him on every motion, on every item to suppress, on the Franks hearing, on the witnesses, alternative suspects, on the IGG work. At every turn, they slammed the door in this kid's face. Now, I don't know the laws that rule those decisions because
I agree with you on that. Right? I agree with
that. Right. Maybe he had standing in law to do this.
I'm of the opinion of full Franks. Like, they should have been granted a full Franks. Like, they should have been granted a full Franks. That's why I say, like, is there potential for down the road that a higher court would look at Hitler's or not grant any of the motions in limine, or to get motions to suppress? Like, he chucked out every single avenue that they possibly could have utilized. And, some of that stuff should have been gone. I'm sorry, but anything that the FBI did that they didn't want to turn over, okay, fine. Shouldn't have been like, all of a sudden don't want to talk about IGG, don't want to talk about none of that. But the fact of the matter is, without the IGG, is DNA. How do you skip over that? How do you go from the DNA on the sheet that led you nowhere to arresting him and getting his buccal swab? What's in between?
Right.
The problems, everything the feds did via a back door come with that. The state bunch of
Correct.
shit that the feds did in the background, that they backdoored everything, that the feds wouldn't even give it to them, I bet. I'm sure. We'll do it for you, but you got to make it look like you did the work, not us.
Mhm.
So
Well,
that's due process violation.
Many of these
Right?
things are
Like, the way
right.
that I look at it is, if Hitler knew all of this, all of sealed hearings that they're all doing together, and Hitler is aware that the state came from shit the feds got via a back door, it should have been suppressed. Granted, not denied. That's just my opinion.
Well, the indictment should have been thrown out too. He was unindictable unless they went to that jury and lied. He admitted it the other day in court when he said we can't place him at the house. I don't know. There's nothing more damaging to this case than Bill Thompson himself. He didn't stalk. We all know he didn't stalk. Why are they putting that question in there? Because you people framed him as a stalker. That guy is the worst prosecutor that's ever walked upright. Okay, this guy. If we evolved from apes, this bro never jumped away from being an ape. He's still an ape. You don't say things like that in court. If you're the prosecutor or if you're anybody in a courtroom, how could you admit to that? Well, we don't have evidence to place him at the house. Well, then what the fuck's the kid been in jail for 32 months for? Excuse my language, pardon me. That's infuriating to me. That was the argument I made up in the very beginning. That's what dragged me into this case. I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for that PCA. That's the most exculpatory document I've ever seen in my life. It does everything but place Bryan at the house. Everything. Places him everywhere except where he needed to be. And you arrested him for that? This ain't divorce court where people could just lie about each other and get away with it. This is a capital murder case. So it's infuriating.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So okay, so but a final think that they are laying the groundwork for some kind of SCOTUS appeal here, or do you think that they're just going to let Bryan spend the rest of his life in the clink?
The time is going to have to answer that. There's no, like I said, the hope is what I sold, what I was selling. I don't know.
I'm just asking for your opinion.
I don't know. I really don't have an opinion because there's no way to know until things develop. It's like a wait see thing. You know what I mean? Like back in the day before you could know the sex of your child, you had to wait and see.
They're going to withdraw the plea or no?
No, I don't think he's going to withdraw. He wants out of that courtroom.
But do you think they're going to withdraw the plea or no?
Absolutely no. This may be the only sensible way to listen. This may be the only sensible way to get out of that courtroom. That's what I was trying to outline for people. If in fact this guy is innocent and this guy wants to get a fair trial, he's not going to get it there. So you take a plea and then with the plea, then you go and start making appeals. That's all you can do, I guess. Damn.
All right.
You got Lana up inside of Bill Thompson's beard tasting it or something. It's not really, oh God. All right. Well, listen, thanks for having me up here. I haven't seen you stream before, so I've been subscribed, but I've never seen or been a part of your stream.
It's been a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I did a video a couple weeks ago, like when the plea thing, when I first got back from PA, but I kind of lost my shit because it was like everything was going insane then. That's when it was Bryan's twin in the courtroom and not him, and he's on an island somewhere, and so I just kind of lost my shit and made a video losing my shit. Basically, like I just can't. I can't. There's a lot of things. I'm all for a good conspiracy. I literally had someone tell me it was a fucking twin, and I deleted their.
Okay. True. I get a kick out of Lana. She finally got that beep out of her stream. Now there's someone else out here with a stream, and it's got a beep in it, just like Lana's stream. It's like I don't know what the hell is going on with their fire alarm. There's another streamer out here. I forget her name. She just started a week or two ago, like you, but she's got that smoke detector beep in her stream like Lana used to have. It's crazy. And I thank God you don't have it, because I can't take it. But time will tell. I appreciate you having me on here. I think I'm going to go jump in the pool and cool off.
Arch, well, it was care. Enjoy your weekend.
Good. All right, you too. How the hell do I get out of here?
Bye. We'll give it up for Sarge. Thanks, Sarge, for coming up. Sorry about the issue. So sorry. I wonder if, I mean, can you guys hear me okay, or am I breaking up? Beep, beep. All right, so yes, exactly, Lucy. I know. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm literally in WITSEC, right? Beep, beep. Like the link or what? Answer my question. Do you think that is the reason that Kohberger got really screwed with this plea, or do you think that she is possibly laying groundwork to go to a higher court and have them take a look at what happened in this case? Maybe there's some due process violation. Where do you think this is headed? Chat, if you want to click it. So most probably dipped out of here because he couldn't get up on panel. I don't see anybody else out back. I'm so sorry if my internet's really choppy. It's because of our weather. Yeah. You sound like Emma Bear. Let me know that my audio's fucked. How long has it been like that? Figure what's going on. Really could. I have no idea why. James Moen, always good to see you. Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that, Heather. But yeah, Sarge, I mean, that's actually, there you go. I do appreciate you coming up, and I understand what you were getting at, Take the plea to get out from this court. Right. Totally up their sleeve. I assume Supreme Court, because then it would pause everything going on at the state level, including, this whole plea deal and stuff. But I just don't see that happening. So, and I don't see them withdrawing. But there is a part of me that feels that in a way, Ann Taylor kind of screwed Waving Speedy, because she knew back then they couldn't produce anything to her. Right? In her discovery request, they couldn't do anything to her. So she knew they didn't have shit. And it might have Speedy. They wouldn't have had anything to present. So. Oh, my audio sucks, darling. What do you mean? Best audio is why I'm here. V, thank you for being here, darling. But my audio is absolute shitballs all the time, and I don't know why. Even setup, new mic, everything. It's like I don't even bother. You guys only get me live like once. Because even when I do go live, audio is like, no, lying. You don't get to say shit in a. Oh, well, thank you, Lana. Appreciate you, darling. Thank you for your super sticker. Adderall Alley. Taylor Ann leads to Adderall Alley. Yeah, Massith didn't look happy at all. To me, Matt wanted to set the entire earth on fire. I have two opinions about Massith at the hearing. She either looked like she wanted to set the world on fire, or she looked like she committed 4 homicides. If you want my honest to God's, that's my opinion. She either, is not happy about the plea, thinks it's bullshit, didn't want him to take it, or she recently is an actual fucking murderer, and she's been over there rubbing it, doing all this work into the alternative perpetrator investigation and blah, blah. What do I know? You know what I mean? Atlanta. A hamburger. Very much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your super sticker. You're awesome. Love it. Too fast for fleas. Oh my goodness. Prettiest on the planet. You are so pretty. Love you so much. I love you. I really do. Lana, you again. You're amazing. And Big Mikey, I love you. You love my shitty stream. Word. Give it up for shitty streams. Thank you so much. You guys are freaking awesome. I love it. Appreciate you. I hope you guys know how much of you that's still stuck around. I really do. I had a lot of people unsubscribe after I lost my shit when I put out that last video. How fucking insane you sound when you're saying that Bryan's a fed on an island somewhere and blah blah blah. I'm talking people have unsubscribed. So I appreciate every single one of you who stuck around, and you just get my sense of humor to me when I was saying I was keeping an open mind, and to keep your mind open that this motherfucker might be involved, right? So, he ended up taking a plea. He took a plea. Yes, when Hitler asked him, did you go there with the intent to commit the felony homicide, or however he put it, and I was like, what the fuck? I wanted, every time I heard him say guilty, every time I heard him say yes, intentionally did this, I just wanted to puke my brains out. He's fucking, what the fuck? That he's saying yes. What did they know? What did the state finally cough up that's indefensible? But what do I know? I don't know shit, who I'm at with questions and some opinions, and that's about it. Well, I love you, Joanna. Appreciate you, Joanna. 99 cents a peach is what I am. I'm a peach. I'm an absolute to be around. I get it. I'm not going to lie. I was pissed. Dogs. I'm pissed because I know they're fucking thing into some secret vault somewhere, and we're going to be able to get anything unless fully redacted or everyone involved in the case is fucking deceased or retired. Able to get that stuff. I mean, I do love it that what's most familiar to me, recent things, or what I'm going to go through and decide what gets unsealed, what needs to be redacted, blah blah blah. But I'm like, bro, they're going to glory hold this thing into a fucking somewhere for the next 20 years, and it's just bullshit, and I'm not happy about it. I just want the damn docs unsealed. Go ahead and redact names. Go ahead and redact whoever you need to redact. 20 pages of a 40-page document are all blacked out. You're douchebags. It shouldn't be happening. This is why I want to FOIA the feds for everything to do with whatever they did on Bryan Kohberger. Will we get it? But I don't give a shit. FOIA it anyway. If you are planning on putting in FOIAs now that this gag order is at the FBI, because the fact of the matter is the FBI are the ones who owe us to show us the work they did, because they spent our tax dollars to. You understand? Single thing that the FBI did in this case used our money to do it, and therefore they need to show their work. They fucking thing they did in this case for behalf of the state, acting as an agent of the state. So if you're going to FOIA anything, start putting the FBI. They'll probably tell you to go fuck themselves, go fuck them. Start getting them FOIAs in. Ask for every single thing that they did to the Bryan Kohberger case. Simulators, tracking him across the country, anything they did, everything they did with the IgG, everything they did with the DNA. Just start putting in the FOIA for all of it. Because the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, the FBI money to make this person was looked against him. Used your money to do that. They used all of our money, and they owe us an explanation as to what they did in this case. So, and that's just my opinion, and I'm no one, and I don't know shit, but I do know you used my taxpayer dollars to use your $1 million vehicle that you use around and trap and trace and all this other bullshit, right? You're using our money for, and you owe us the fucking work you did. We have every work, period. Even if the state is going to help you bury it by getting this motherfucker to cop a plea, right? Because that's what's really happening here. Now that he's taken the FBI doesn't have to work. The investigators don't have to show any of their work. Bryan, whatever he doesn't want out, gets to stay hidden, right? Hear that this plea helps everyone and their families. It appears that this plea deal covers the state's ass, it covers the investigator's ass, and the families and the victims got fucked. And, if I'm Mr. Gonsalves, I want feds did, because I know feds are the ones who, this is just my opinion, I won't say I know, but it's the one who actually solved this case. And then they just turned over work to the state and said, you need to make it look like you got it and that you legal way, because we didn't. But as long as you can, and you did it the right way, we'll get it for you. Us that. They owe us that. All the work that they did that now gets to stay hidden, put in your FOIAs for that shit. And get it all, friends. I mean, that's really all I can say. It just appears to me that that's exactly what's going on here. Is now everybody gets to hide everything. And it's gross. And I'm here for Steve spilling whatever beans he, not that you haven't been able to all along, but, go ham, Steve. Fucking rat them all out. Flip on all of them. What promise did they make to you? What did they tell you? Did they guarantee you a trial and that they were going to lay out all of the evidence crystal clear against you? And you're incredibly pissed about it? I would be too. Mr. Gonsalves, I would be too. Because this is bullshit, But these are just my opinions. I don't know anything. What do you guys think? At the end of the day, do you think one for Ann Taylor Kohberger to win? And number two, a real investigation funds on legals to her go through things that she felt she would, and that had she had she still waived speedy, but then immediately went to the resource judge to bring on, do you would have helped? Do you think more she could have done? Request this just thing. Make sure you guys, throw a crew. You go ahead and in the comments of the video. Well, yeah, exactly. And yeah, they lied. We know this is what I mean. So, like, right? The state can be fucking liars. They're bad against Kohberger that was really coughed up by the state. It could also be that there were due process violations by the court. It could be so many layers here of things that are happening all at once that can all at the same time, right? It doesn't have to be just one thing. It could be like a multitude of things that are all at the same time, right? So, well, Joanna, thanks for being here. You got to go. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. But yeah, I just want to hear, what people think. I think that we're laying some groundwork for some due process violation and constitution down the road. I also think that this defense team could have done, especially going to the resource judge, bring on a few more paralegals. Like, you could have absolutely brought on some paralegals that have worked on death penalty instant going through. They can look at things and know, okay, this is completely irrelevant. We don't know why the prosecution is going to dump a bunch of shit, irrelevant shit on you in the discovery. We all know that that's what a state prosecutor loves. Pick a state. Your state prosecutor loves nothing more than fucking onto the defense team and bury. So you should prepare for that. In my opinion, you should have already had a team specifically for that. But that's just my opinion. And I want to know I want to know if other people also done more. I want to think, there's nothing else she could have done. I do her kind of, tied their hands and feet together and didn't give them, any leeway. I don't even want to call it leeway. I do believe he should have granted them a full Franks, 100%. And down the road that a higher court test violation, Franks should have been granted, and because the Franks wasn't granted, violated his rights. Either way. Right? Thank you, Sarge, for coming up. Thank you, Kane, for coming up. Willie, I'm so sorry it didn't work for you, and I have no idea why. I know my internet was horrible, guys. Thank you for hanging out on this shitty-ass stream with shitty weather and shitty internet connection. I hope you guys have been taking care of yourselves and enjoy doing things that make you happy, okay? I know that this can all be pretty time-consuming, racking, but Please remember to get out and go to the beach and go to the lake and do fun things with your kids if you have them, and do hikes with your pets, and go do things that are good for your soul too. Okay. And it's okay to get this shit out of your brain and just go enjoy life. And I hope that's what all of you intend to do, is go enjoy fun with the rest of your weekend. I know that's what I plan to do. And I'll be shopping tomorrow, some stores tomorrow, looking for new Halloween and fall things. So if you want to join me on some more shopping adventure, always appreciate it. I hope of me where it's not just strictly Bryan Kohberger. And I do plan on doing some more road trips and things like that with me, and we can just shoot the shit. Yes, I agree with you, Colleen. There's probably going to be some appellate issues down the road. I definitely think that for sure. But I hope you guys have a great. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for your super chats and your super stickers. They're awesome. Mercy Cat, I hope you catch this in the read. You've been taking care of yourself, and you and Elroy have been enjoying life and being happy. And I miss you. And yeah, is next, unless we get some docs, obviously. I hope you know if we get anything good. So we get some juicy docs, you will see me. But pretty soon we're going to start covering Evelyn. So hopefully you guys are here for that. I hope you guys all have an amazing night. And soon. Bye.